this record is like super country, mostly me singing, and which is a lot of fun for me.
We got a good one today, buddy, don't we?
Oh my gosh, yes. Colt Ford, we've been looking forward to having him for a while now, and we finally got him. And he's got a new 24 song project out, and it's country, and it's such a great honor to have him here. Glad that he joined us for this.
And he also opened up about a new personal struggle, an autoimmune disease that he was recently diagnosed with. You'll see him wearing an eye patch. He joked with us before, and he says, "I'm not trying to be a redneck pirate," but yeah, and we talk about it. He says he wasn't open about talking about it for a little while, but we put him at ease, and he said, "Yeah, sure, we'll talk about it." And I think it all comes back to the music, because the music is getting him through it. These 24, 25 song projects, seeing a lot more of them. Morgan Wallen with his 24, 25 song, 36 song rather project. Dolly Parton has, Dolly Parton has a double album coming out. Drake Milligan from that we saw at Stagecoach from AGT. He has his full-length album is 18 songs. So albums are getting bigger as people just have more and more creative control.
Nate Smith, 20 songs on the standard, 26 on the deluxe, yes, and that's a huge project where that landed on the charts too. So a lot of music, and he's got even more coming, he tells us. So we'll just let him explain all that.
Colt Ford, welcome to the Music Universe podcast. How are you, sir?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
I am great. I cannot believe, I'm super excited to say you have new music out. Tell us about that.
I'm really excited about it too. You know, it's been a little bit for me. I've been working a ton, but the pandemic, you know, had such an effect on everybody, and I just kind of just immersed myself into music, and I got so much music coming now. It's crazy. I'm at this 24, 25 song album, Must Be the Country. First single I did with Dylan Carmichael, who's was just one of my favorite people. I've kind of watched him grow up because he's the nephew of John Michael Montgomery and Eddie Montgomery, and those guys have been part of my career since the very beginning. So it's kind of cool to kind of full circle thing for me to do a song with Dylan, as well as I produced Walker Montgomery's first EP, who was John Michael's son. So yeah, it's been a full circle kind of thing. And this new record it's just fun, man, and it's real country. Like, I'm not even really doing what they always accuse me of being a country rapper. I'm like, I've always thought that you know, nobody ever accused Toby Keith of that when he was doing I Want to Talk About Me, or, you know, or Charlie Daniels. I met Wyclef Jean told me The Devil Went Down to Georgia was the first rap song he ever heard. So it's been an interesting ride for me, but I'm still here. I'm still making music. I'm having a blast. I feel like I've got the best music of my life coming out right now. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and the album's out now, and like you said, it includes 24 tracks. Now, it's a combination of new songs and some greatest hits, correct?
Well, I did an EP, and I about 6 or 7 of those songs I put out about probably less than a year ago. And so we put those on there as well with the rest of the new stuff. So it's not really any greatest hits. It's just some of that last record. I thought about doing like 3 EPs. I had so much music, and then it was like, man, I just got so much music. I took that first EP that I put out less than a year ago and put it with this, and added a couple little things to it, and added maybe 10 or 12 new songs to it. And so, shoot, I just love making music. I really do. I just love making music. I have so much fun. I'm doing a lot of producing with some other artists, some younger artists now. So I'm just, besides this record that just came out, soon to be in the summer, I'll have a new EP that I did with an artist named Chris Calico, who is from Kansas City. Chris worked with Tech Nine for 20 years. And we got together to do one song, and it's like, there was just such a chemistry and a vibe. I mean, we were just like, it was like it's like he was a brother, and we just was like, let's make a whole EP. So we created a little duo called Hood Billies, and it is some of the funnest stuff I've ever done. People that have heard it, they're like, is it country? Is it rap? is it country rap? Is it pop? We call it smile music, quite honestly. We're both almost the same age. We have the same values, and we just want to do something fun that like a 5-year-old could sing along to, but it still was cool and had swag to it. So it's one of the funnest things I've ever done. So I'm excited about that. And then I also did an EP with Brian Martin, who's, out there killing it right now, streaming 5 million a week. And him and I did an EP that comes out later in the year. And then in between all that, Yellow Wolf and I did a song together that is one of the coolest things I've ever done. It's a straight kind of hip hop song. So I'm all over the board, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, and
Very
you've got a lot of collaborations on this new project. I mean, you mentioned Dylan Carmichael, but God, Brantley Gilbert, Tracy Bird, Tracy Lawrence, Vince Gill, and Dan Tyminski. Wow.
Those guys, yeah, I've been so lucky and blessed, and I'm so humbled by it that all of these artists that I've worked with, a lot of stuff is put together with managers or record labels put stuff together and they manufacture stuff. Everybody that I've worked with is somebody I can pick up the phone and call right now and get them on the phone. They're all friends of mine, and they've all done it because they believed in me and the music we were making. And that's really humbling. And I don't ever take that for granted, because the list of the people I've worked with, it shouldn't even happen for an old country boy from Georgia like me doing something that was a little bit different. And all those artists have been so kind to be a part of it. And, Megan Patrick is on there too. She's phenomenal. Who married Mitchell Tenpenny. And I've been just blessed and humbled of how that Tracy Lawrence and Bird together on the same song. It's fun, man. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's really cool. It's really organic. And I've noticed that about the artists, not just yourself, but the artists that come out of Average Joe's, your record label. It's just all very organic and very heartfelt in a way that a lot of the super label produced stuff tends to get watered down, and there's a lot of executive hands that get into the final product. But with you guys, I think Alive and Well from Eddie is one of the best country tracks of the last decade, and that comes from your label.
That song should be song of the year. Like, when I was a part of helping making that record and everything, and when I got that song, Ira Dean was a writer on that, who's one of my closest friends. And when I got the demo of that song, I had to pull my truck over. Like, I was literally sobbing. And I called Eddie. I'm like, I'm an emotional guy anyway. I know people think Colt Ford and big, tough redneck dude, and I am that too. But at the same time, I'm an emotional guy. And I'm like, how in the hell could you sing that, Eddie? Like, when you say I've lost 2 sons and my best friend, like, good Lord. It's just that whole album was phenomenal. Eddie singing as good as he ever has. And that's just kind of our philosophy over there. We're not trying to manufacture artists. We just want great songs, great music. And I will tell you right now at Average Joe's, a lot of times, a lot of the history of Average Joe's with a lot of the artists has been Colt Ford and a bunch of artists that kind of want to be Colt Ford or kind of be like that. And right now, the music we have coming out and the label that we have and the artists we have on there is the most diverse and my favorite combination, and probably the biggest potential of anything we've ever done. I've signed 2 new artists, and I've gotten way more into mentoring some younger artists and signing some artists and producing them. And myself and Dylan Maloney, who's my guitar player, I signed a kid named Blake Fades from Ardmore, Oklahoma. Mm. And if you I was just asking Apple and Spotify the other day, I said, what if I told you how to artist that was Post Malone, Co Wetzel, and the Baby with a little Colt Ford mixed together, they'd be like, I'd say you're crazy. And I was like, well, I signed him. He's a kid named Blake Fades from Ardmore, Oklahoma, big country kid off a farm. And he is just, I've never heard anything like what we're doing on him. Never. I've heard pieces of it, but never as a whole, as an artist. And then we have a kid named King Jerome, who's a young black kid from Dallas, Texas, that lives on a horse farm that is doing some country R&B stuff that is, I'm like, I don't even know how you're making this sound. Like, I've never even heard it before. So my new stuff, Brian Martin, Josh Miranda. I mean, we've got, golly, we got some stuff going on right now, and I'm so excited about it. And it is, you're right, it's organic. It's not made up. We don't do that. I mean, it's an independent record label just trying to make the best music we can.
So that's, go ahead, buddy.
We chatted with Sam Grow last year, and he
Sam
had nothing.
too. Golly, yeah, forgot about that.
He had and he's on this album too. He had nothing but praise for you being the label head that you are.
Well, I've gotten more involved here lately. A lot. I didn't do as much early in my career because I was so busy doing me. But I'm really enjoying mentoring and working with these younger artists, and not just helping them with music, but helping them with understanding how to navigate the music industry and the music business. Because there's a whole different thing besides being an artist. When you start talking about music business, that's a different world altogether. And to be able to help some of these younger guys it's just a blessing for me. And Sam Grow, I mean, to me, Sam Grow should be a star. I mean, Sam Grow should be a country star. I mean, I helped produce some of his records, and God, he's just so good, and he's a road dog. He works hard. I mean, yeah, I mean, again, I can't even believe I didn't say his name. We got so many artists that are so good over there right now. It's crazy.
So as someone who sort of carved your own subgenre with the country rap stuff, and you're dealing with all of these, mentoring all these artists that have their own unique twists on what country is to them, what do you tell them about the inevitability that they will face the criticism, that's not country? And how did you handle it yourself?
It's been,
when somebody says to you, Colt Ford, that's not country. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I think if you listen to me, you listen to my music, all those projects, and you say that I ain't country, then we from way different kinds of country is all I can tell you. I mean, like, I got more fiddle and steel on my records than damn near anybody in Nashville, always have. I mean, just because somebody doesn't sing something, singing does not make you country. You know what I mean? I mean, I just don't get it. And my fans, if you go to my shows, or my fans are not only country, they are the countryist. I mean, like, my fans are completely country. And I talk about God, family, friends, America, hard work. I mean, ain't that country? I mean, like I said, what do you think Devil Went Down to Georgia is? I mean, what do you think Smoke, Smoke, Smoke That Cigarette was, or Hot Rod Lincoln? That is exactly what I do. I just, that was just a long time ago. And music, you know, Carrie Underwood don't sound like Loretta Lynn to me either, by the way. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's okay. Country music evolves. To me, it's the authenticity of the stories and what it is. I mean, long as it's not blasphemy or making fun of something or whatever, then let it be what it is to you. I mean, just good songs. To me, good songs are good songs. And Eric Church told me that one time. He said, look, I know you're frustrated that you're not getting the chance that other people have gotten, but he goes, I've taken you on tour. We play sold out awareness, 20,000 people, and they're singing every word to your songs. So don't tell me they're not number one songs. These people are singing them. They are hits. Just because it's not like this doesn't show up like that on the chart. And that stuck with me. He said, keep doing what you're doing. Good music will win in the end. And so I've always tried, I like to try to keep that philosophy, make good music, make authentic, original music. And that's what we're doing. And people are, you know, those same people that hate and say what they're going, it wouldn't matter what you do. They're going to say what they're going to say. And Stormy Warren said, you know, he said, I think he said his dad told him, it's none of my business what other people think about me. And I've always worked, I'll be honest with you, it's bothered me for a lot of years because I look at the music now and I'm going, so how is this, and this getting to be a number one record when I've been doing this, that, and this for 15 years? I mean, like, but you know, Jelly Roll said, he said, I think Colt was probably 10 years ahead of everybody. And that's okay. I've opened the door. I've opened the door for a lot of other artists. I didn't set out to do that. I set out to make good music, the best I could make. And I've been blessed to sell a bunch of records, have a lot of fans, and have a real career. I've been doing it 15 years. And if I can keep up with the healthy wise, I'll do it 15 more.
Well, let's talk about that, because I think that that same optimism you've taken to music and to the approach there is, you take that same zest for life and doing it your own way to this new medical battle that you're facing, and it's why you're wearing an eye patch here today. And you were telling us a little bit about it beforehand, and we asked you if you would be comfortable talking about it. So tell us what you were recently diagnosed with. I could try to pronounce it, but
well, yeah, honestly, so during the pandemic, my fiance goes, "What's wrong with that spot on your eye?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I didn't know I had a spot on my eye. I didn't know it. I didn't see it." She took a picture of it. I was like, "Oh." I go to a few doctors, find out I had this form of cancer in my eye. So I go to the doctor at Vandy. She's one of the best in the world. She was like, she told me, she goes, you know, and it's a typical man thing. Like, well, I'm fine. I don't need to go to the doctor. It ain't bothering me. She goes, if you'd have waited 2 more weeks, you'd have probably had to do full chemo. She's like, if you'd have waited a month or two, I might have had to take your eye out. So she's like, no problem. I'll get it fixed. So she got it done, and I was good. I felt great. Well, then I got diagnosed a year later with this, instantly I started panicking because it's the same eye I had the cancer in. And they're like, no, it's an autoimmune disease called myasthenia gravis. And I couldn't have pronounced it either. I had to learn to pronounce it because I'm too redneck to understand stuff like that. But it's an autoimmune disease that affects muscles in your face and your throat, and neurologically it affects your vision. And it's been crazy, honestly. And I didn't tell many people about it. The last year has truly, you guys know me. I'm a pretty happy, I'm that kind of guy. I'm happy. I'm optimistic. I want to see people win. I'm normally smile on my face. My music's fun. This put me down a pretty dark place because all of a sudden I had no depth perception. I can't keep my right eye open all the time. It closes down. My left eye looks like Steve Buscemi. My right eye looks like Forrest Whitaker. It's crazy. And it took me down to a pretty dark place, to be honest with you, this summer. And the doctor's like, you need tons of rest and no stress. I'm like, that sounds great. I normally play 125 shows a year. I don't know how to do that. And he's like, also heat's bad for it. I'm like, I play tons of festivals outdoors in summer. There's 100 degrees. So it really, honestly, it affected me more psychologically and emotionally and mentally because you guys know my history. I played professional golf for a living. Golf was my thing on the road. That's my escape. That's where I go out, I relax, and me and my fiddle player go play. And all of a sudden, I couldn't play because I couldn't see. I couldn't see the ball. I couldn't tell where the ground is. And it took me down to a pretty dark place. Full disclosure, this summer, my fiance, bless her heart, absolutely saved my life. She wouldn't let me get too down. She would stay on me. She would encourage me, and she pulled me back up out of this hole. And now I'm feeling good. They say there's no cure for it, but I don't believe that. There's lots of things have had no cure, and then ended up discovering one. So I got a lot of people praying for me, but there's a new drug that they've just come out with. It's an intravenous kind of drug, and I'm going to try that. They're having some good success with it. So I'm back out of that depression. And that's another thing that's kind of important for people to, especially as men, to talk about. Like, you don't want to talk about, they feel like depression is a weakness or something. I'm learning, and I'm trying to be an advocate for that, especially we're here in the month of May. It's mental health week. We got to be able to talk about that and share our experiences. And if you're having a hard time, you got to be able to reach out to somebody and tell somebody. So I've learned that, and I'm working on that, and I'm trying to be an advocate of that to help other people, I hope. And so I'm back on my positive vibes again. This new album is rocking and a lot of fun, and I got a whole bunch of more new music coming. So heck yeah, man, I'm fired up.
Oh, it's such a powerful story. And you're also back on the road. I mean, you've got 30 plus dates throughout North America.
I've already done probably 30, 40 shows this year. I'll do over 100 shows this year. It's funny. Somebody said, "Oh, I saw you now. I didn't know you were having a tour." I'm like, honestly, that's the record label that makes up that stuff. I was just playing music. That's just me out playing shows. They're like, "What do you want to call a tour?" I was like, "I don't care what you call it. Just tell people I'm going to be out there playing." I really feel that way. Like if I was going
You got to have a name for the merch, Colt. You got to have a name for the merch.
I guess. I don't know. That's not my forte, the business side of things. I'm a music guy and a people guy, and I'm like, y'all can call it whatever you want to. I'm just out here playing shows, man, and I that's all I'm going to keep doing. I've had 1 month since July of 2008 where I hadn't played at least 6 shows. So I like working. I love the people. I love the fans. To me, that's the greatest gift. When you got people standing out there singing every word to your song, or somebody telling you something you wrote made a difference in their life, songs like Working On and stuff. I've had badass, special forces soldiers come up to me in tears and going, man, that song saved my life. That's why I play music. They ain't never going to let me win no award, and that's all right. I don't need no award. I mean, my award is getting to play for these fans that sing it every night. So, and I still get to do that. I'm at 53 years old, so I'm damn excited about that.
That's awesome. And I will say, it's clear the answer is yes, but I would ask, as being on the road and having worked on this 24-song project, therapeutic for what you were going through with the diagnosis, but it's clear to me it absolutely was. Getting back to music and focusing on that has done wonders for you.
Music transcends politics and religion and things like that. It's, you could ask somebody, like, it's simple stuff like, how do you learn your ABCs? ABC, it's a song. I mean, like, it's music, and you can tell somebody, you go, 15 years ago, do you remember this? And they'll go, I don't really remember. You play a song from 15 years ago, bam, right back to that place. And it's a powerful thing. I don't take it for granted. That's one of the things I try to encourage these younger artists to realize, like, it's the cliche of Spider-Man, but with great power comes great responsibility. When you have this platform of playing music, it's important to remember that it can make a difference in somebody's life. And you stopping to sign an autograph. I was just walking at a mall in Columbus, Ohio, and the guy goes, man, you look like Colt Ford. I don't want to bother you. I was like, yeah, man, no, man. I started talking to him, took a picture with him. We FaceTimed somebody that they knew. Like, that shit, why would you not do that? That's the reason we're here. That's the reason I'm here. It's the reason y'all get to do what y'all do. It's music. It's powerful.
I love it. I love it.
Very much so. Very, very powerful. Colt, anything else that you want to discuss?
No, man, I'm just happy. I appreciate y'all taking a listen to the record. I think this must be the country record. I got so many different types of projects coming out, which is kind of how I've always been. I've always been kind of a gumbo as far as music. This record is like super country, mostly me singing, and which is a lot of fun for me. I could always, people that have heard it, a lot of my artist friends like, damn, dude, I didn't know you sing like that. And I'm like, I've always been able to. I was just always afraid, kind of, wasn't my comfort zone. So now understanding my voice, what it is, and don't get me wrong, I don't compare myself to, to Stapleton and Randy Houser and Jamie Johnson, Luke, people like that can really, really sing. But I found my voice, and that's all that anybody needs to do. Find your voice and don't be afraid to let it out there. And so I'm doing that. I love this record. I got so much other music coming. I'm gonna just keep rocking, man. I'm gonna beat this freaking disease too.
Yes, awesome. No, you will. You Colt Ford, a pleasure. Come back anytime. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for the support and giving me a chance to be heard and seen. I really do appreciate it. I'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks for
apologize. There's a habit when you're a journalist, you sort of put people in bins, right? We put people in the country bin, in the pop bin, in the middling bin, where it doesn't quite make sense how they're to us, how they've become popular. But you have to go see these people live to really understand. So same with Colt. You got to go see him live. He talked about having a fiddle and steel player in his band. The apology I think we owe is to Parker McCollum, who's been a guest on this show. We've heard some of his stuff, and privately, you and I've talked about how it can be a little overproduced. But then when we went and saw him at Stagecoach, it was as country as can be. So, and that's why I mentioned with Colt what Average Joe is doing with so much organic artists and organic music is a lot of times record labels will come in there and the people that are worried about the money will say, well, the album needs this and the album needs that. And then you get something that sounds totally different on the record than it does live. Another example, Miranda Lambert, for my money, in my opinion, sounds so much better live than she does on some of her more recent records, because all of that falls away. And so I'm glad we kind of got into that with Colt a little bit. And I'm excited to hear this album.
Yeah, it's great. It's out now. It's called Must Be the Country. You can get it anywhere digital music is sold or streamed. And we look forward to having more music from him beyond this, as he just stated. So.
All right. For the Music Universe podcast, I'm Matt.
And I'm Buddy. Thanks for listening and watching. Be sure to hit that like, subscribe, and share button. Check us out at themusicuniverse.com, tmupod.com, and social media at The Music Uni. Take care.